Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. Your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk with comedians about sports. We jump into everything of whatever the hot topic is. While we wait for the guys to jump in, look like my man Michael Sean has jumped in the building. Mike, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's good?
Wait for the other guys to come in.
What's today's date?
Today's date is the 12th.
The 12th. Okay, well, happy 12th. Happy 12th.
So what's with the Shaka Zulu beard, bro? What happened? How talk to me about that? What happened?
Yeah, I shaved the beard and I kept the goatee. And soon, after I lose like 7 more pounds, I'm gonna shave the whole thing off.
And you're sitting outside today, so it look like you're enjoying the weather, and you got stuck and you froze. You froze. Mike, you there? You there? Hello, Earth calling Mike. Earth calling Mike. All right, well, I'm gonna come back to Mike. Mike, you there? Mike is there. Fig's in the building too. What's up, Fig?
What you do, y'all?
So while we wait for the other guys to jump in, man, we're gonna get ready to get this show started. I'm waiting for the other guys to jump in. So first up, this is kind of interesting. First up, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the news. Mike, I'm gonna start with you first. There was an Olympic gold medalist from Britain. His name is Sir Mo Farah. He revealed yesterday that he was a person who was trafficked into Britain when he was small. So now there's a big uproar in Britain about this because he was trafficked in and he was forced to work as a domestic servant. Talent's in the building too. What's up, T? How you doing, sir?
Everything good, brother. Everything good.
All right, so he came out and said his real name is Hassan Abdi Kahim, Mike. So being that he said that he wanted to bring attention to the world on trafficking, especially from Africa, and crazy as it is, he ended up becoming an Olympic gold medalist for Britain, playing as Britain, but he was trafficked in, and people are in uproar because he's not really from the country and under false documentation and everything else. But it's a big dude that's going on in Britain right now about that. So
I think
Mike, talk to me, man. Tell me what you think about this athlete who literally was he was trafficked. Like he came over as a small kid to work for a lady, and she ripped up his documents and everything else. And come to find out, he didn't even realize what was going on until later on. How you feel about that, Mike?
I mean, I know he's not here, but welcome to America. I mean, there's a whole race of people that feel your pain, but hey, it's
but Mike, they can take away his gold medal, man. They really trying to.
You think he gives a damn about his gold medal when he was trafficking? Like,
hey, I mean, it's one way you can look at it. It's one way you can look at a Fig. Hold on, T, come in, you take a Fig. When you hear he was trafficked, believe it or not, what's your take on this? Because the crazy thing about it is, believe it or not, is that honestly, if they find grounds to take his gold medal, they actually might. You know what I mean? And he played, like he said, the only thing he literally found in his life as a youngster was soccer. That was the thing that grounded him. So that gold medal might mean a lot to him. I think it does. What you think, Fig?
I'm not really worried about him, them taking away his gold medal. I'm worried about them taking away Barack Obama's presidency because he was trafficked too.
So was Jesse Owens.
Here we go with this.
Jesse's real name was JC. And they just started calling him Jesse because it sounded like Jesse when he. Listen. One thing we know for sure, R. Kelly just went to jail for what they call trafficking.
Yeah.
But it seems like, and this is it again, man. It seems like when crimes happen, either in America or abroad, the face of criminals always is brown. Now, whoever trafficked this kid when he was a child and tore up his paperwork, say you can't go back, where's the prosecution for those people that did that to him? Where's the prosecution for everybody else? Because we know that human trafficking is big in the world. How come R. Kelly is the only one that went to jail? I'm not saying that R. Kelly shouldn't have, but where's everybody else? It's not like it began with R. Kelly, and it's not like it ended with R. Kelly. So where's everybody else? Human trafficking is big business. where's the criminal justice system to take these people down?
Yeah.
Without human trafficking, there's no America.
Good, another great point. Talent, what's your take on this? I know you saw the story and everything else, man, and thank you for joining the show. Appreciate you. So talk to me, man. What's your thought process?
Well, first of all, I could care less whether they take it or leave the award with the man. All I know is I'm not betting on him running no way. He got caught.
You are so stupid. You are so.
Where was that speed when those traffickers?
You are so stupid.
Where? I'm just saying, they had him on the news this morning, and they were showing footage of him, track and field running with the. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm putting my money on this guy. He's been caught before. Yes, I'm saying. Give me that Cambodian. They can't catch. They can't catch this dude at the liquor store or nothing. Money on the Cambodian. This is terrible. All jokes aside, trafficking is one of those things that scares the hell out of me. And I think because I looked at a kid, I walking the dog this morning. I see this kid, he couldn't have been more than 12, 13 years old, but he got his backpack on. He's catching the bus, the city bus, by himself. And I'm just looking at him. And part of me as a father was proud, like, yo, because I know that's part of the rites of passage of growing up and doing grown shit. You know what I mean? Like as a young man. But then the other part of me is like, I remember when my son was that age coming out of a late movie and they tried it. Two people in the park with a van with the doors open and the decoy lady and the whole thing. They tried it, but they didn't know we were a unit, a family. So when they put it together, they just got in the van, closed the doors, and got out of there. But the way it looked, like my girl at the time had these two kids running wild. Oh, this was going to be an easy thing. So part of me, hat goes off to that, because to get to a place, I don't know how you got to that place. I don't know if somebody felt guilty at some point and said, boom, or you broke free and went to the I don't know. But it's a scary situation. And to find if trafficking, you know what that's like? We're fighting Roe versus Wade right now. And the whole thing is, if something, an unwanted pregnancy, how are you going to stifle me to have it? I feel like that to this guy. He didn't have any hand in being trafficked. So why would he take his award or his medal? Like, I can come over here and do some shady stuff and traffic myself over here because it's going to be easy to win in the UK. And then when I get the medal, we caught you. You trafficked over here. I didn't do it to myself.
Right.
I think that's whack.
I think talent got serious because he realizes that at his size, he's a prime suspect. They don't traffic 5'7" Puerto Ricans.
I tell you one thing, they won't catch me to traffic me, brother.
They won't catch you.
I'm out of there. I've always been a runner, B. One thing, fireworks. I was having a cookout across the street. They did the pow. I'm gone. It was like, that's your neighbor. Bottle rocket. I'm like,
Bottle rocket. Fig, you got the next question, bro. I will start out with you, man. In civil court, believe it or not, Desean Watson faced 24 accusers in the NFL's disciplinary process. Now he's only facing 4. CBS reported yesterday that the league's case now centers around 4 women instead of 5 because the 5th person, her case was completely weak. They had to drop that case and everything else. And we all know the NFL originally spoke to 12 of Watson accusers, presenting 5 cases, and now there's only 4. But now the league cut it down to 4. And as we find out now, Judge Sue L. Robinson has decided not to give any precedence, any claim to the 5th person out there. So now here's the thing for you, Fig. People started to look for holes in the stories. We started at 12, now it's 5. That we're down to 4 for the Desean Watson case before the disciplinary hearing is coming up. Do you think it's going to get withered down more, or do you think we're going to be looking at from this point on, Fig? What do you think?
It's possible, man. Because here's the thing, and I hate to keep echoing this. We hate the fact that there are people, women that would come out, and I know guys do it in similar situations too. Not with the whole sexual assault thing, but we know that there are women who will come out and say anything for a payday. Mm-hmm. And it always, to me, my problem with it is it casts the shadows on the real victims. if they can poke holes, no pun intended, in these women's story, then then it's possible.
What?
I said if they can poke holes in
You
their
didn't have to
story,
repeat it. You didn't have to repeat it. But that's
then they'll probably be able to get rid of them too. But the best thing about this is that with 4 women, Desean Watson can say, look, those other women were lying too. I just paid them off so I could get on with my career and my life. So with 4 women, even if he pays them off, he might only be facing a game per woman. He might just be facing 4 games.
Right. So you wanted to add on to that?
Yeah, a good comedian always repeats the line. If they could poke holes in some of these women, if they could poke holes. He said, if they could poke holes. This is how we got here. Stop poking holes. Here's the thing, man. It's going to come down to people fail to realize when that whole situation of saying when palms get greased, right? When palms get greased, that means when somebody slides some money to somebody, trust me, these cases that are different off, they get money. They might not get as much as this person and stay the course, but I'm giving you money to shut up, get out the way. Even the powers that be who have the final say, that sit down in the committee and vote and all that, don't think some of these guys ain't getting greased too, like getting a little under the table, and their opinion matters. They're on the board. So it's going to be 1 or 2 little quirky guys in the committee going, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
Because you got some money.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Sean, you want to add into that?
Yeah, I'm going to add one thing. The NFL is going to suspend him for more than 4 games, simply not because of guilt or innocence, simply because of how it looks.
Right.
And he's going to wind up catching, I'll say 8 games. I hate to say the over and under of 8 games. But I hate to make it a bet because I have a betting problem. But the over under is going to be at least 8 games because they don't want the public relations situation to make them look bad. And Roger Goodell's already in enough trouble right now where he's going to make him an example. Whether he's guilty or innocent, and none of us know. None of us know. But I think it's going to be at least 8 games.
Well, Mike, just so you know, the over is 9 and the under is 5.
The business bully has joined the show.
I'm taking 5. I'm taking 5 for $1,000.
All right, so talent business. But first of all, Dave, how you doing, Dave? I see you way down the bottom. All right, good.
Doing good.
Thanks for joining the show. All right, next round of questions, man. I'm gonna start out with you. Richard Jefferson, talent. Richard Jefferson made his NBA referee debut yesterday at the Summer Games and everything else, and a couple people asked this question on Twitter. And I was like, this is a great question. Question is, should more ex-NBA players be referees? And I was like, you know what? That might not be a bad. I never even thought of it like that. And a lot of people are trying to put behind the momentum of that, having more NBA players, ex-NBA players, be referees. I kind of like that. What's your thought process on this?
Well, has been doing it for years. He's been good. Hayward Workman,
Mm-hmm.
Point guard from the Indiana Pacers. He's been really good at it. And, he's a close buddy. So, I had a million questions. So he walked me through the process where they have certain part of the week they're in cities doing games, and a certain part of the week they're in the Meadowlands. They have to do some time in the Meadowlands. That booth, that office where they check all the replay stuff. You got to do time in there as well as actual games on the floor. But he's been doing it for years. He loves it. He said he loves it, and he does a good job. I've been to a few games where he's doing it, and I'm like, you know what? I think it makes more sense. Same way I like my commentator. I hate a guy talking about football who's never thrown a football, who's never even played two-hand touch. He's just watched it, and he got all this stuff to say. He doesn't know what it takes. The guy who used to do it knows what it takes, rooter to the tutor. So Richard Jefferson played the game. So not only that, that's going to cut down on your ticky-tack fouls.
Yeah, I think so too. Dave, what's your take on this, bro? You like an ex-NBA player becoming an NBA referee?
I mean, yeah, you got them by the short and curlies. They need the money any daggone way. So, yeah, they have no problem in throwing games. Here's what's really funny to me, and I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show. Do you realize that the NBA has one of the best 401k plans of anybody in the world? Do you know that their 401k means that they will match up to 140% of what's ever contributed? There's no excuse for any NBA player, even if you're a bench rider, to be broke after you retire. So this is a good thing. I think it's going to cause a lot more comfort for the players to have former players up in there. But yeah, I mean, they need the money. Why not? Let them do it.
Right, but Mike Sean, he's a high profile player. You know what I mean? Richard Jefferson I think he's going to be the first and probably only ex-NBA player to be a referee who won a chip too. I think we could add that too. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody else who's won a chip actually refereed some basketball games. But anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Mike?
I think the problem with old school guys being referees and officials is that they're too hardcore. So somebody could get stabbed and they're like, two shots. Like you can literally get like Richard Jefferson right now will not call a foul. Like that's like, imagine if Charles Oakley was an official. He'd be like, hey, your ribs are broken, 2 shots, and you guys get the ball. But I don't know. I don't know if I think I need the officials to be guys who come up, but I get what Talon's saying. Like, I understand what he's saying because they've been there, but at the same time, they've dealt with different things, and the league is different now. Right. And I don't know if we can have old school guys being officials for the league right now, because Steph Curry would wind up being like, have a concussion, and it wouldn't be effective.
Well, that's why
I like it.
What if the stipulation, Frank, is you had to have win a championship to be a ref, so you're not bitter?
Exactly.
Big, what's your take? You're old school. You're old school like me. You know what I mean? I think you know, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell me, what's your take?
You know what? I think it's like 3 things. I'm going to kind of try and put everything together. One is I like the fact what Dave said about these guys having an excellent retirement package. But my question is, how many years do you have to play to qualify for that retirement package? And if you don't, it would be great if you could do something else with the NBA to qualify for your retirement package. And I'm talking about the guys who are pretty much ride the bench and don't get a chance to play that much. The stars that make millions of dollars, they should probably be okay. I don't have a problem with ex-NBA players being referees. I mean, who is more invested in the game and knows the game as well as the guys who actually played it? But last but not least, I think Richard Jefferson actually did this so that he can learn more about the refereeing process, so that when he does his commentating, he'll be more educated and more informed going forward and be able to do his job better.
Can you imagine if John Starks was an NBA official? Like, he wouldn't even call a foul on a headbutt.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't. And I'd like that. Like, either my biggest thing about these NBA games and everything else is one day it's the foul is one way and the next is not. You know, that's what drives me. I like consistency. That's my biggest thing. All right, y'all ready for rapid fire? Bullet, you ready for rapid fire? Okay, you're gonna be up front. All right, so here it is for you. The market is at a standstill right now for Kyrie Irving. Up until literally 12 hours ago, Kyrie and the Nets had bids, but within the last 12 hours, probably more like 18, there hasn't been one request that the Nets are pretty proud of right now, and that they'd be willing to move for that to happen. Where are your thought process at right now on the market for Kyrie? You think it's going to get worse, better, or he's going to have to end up doing a buyout? What you think, Dave?
I think he might have to end up doing a buyout. Nobody really cares at this point. Like, listen, as much as I am pro-choice when it comes to the jab, I think that it just created God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Michael Schoen was 100% right. It just created a situation where his market value, diminished because he didn't have enough playing time. On top of that, he's not, like, he did well, but he's not as hot as he was. So, yeah.
Yeah, all right. That's your take. All right, so T, here's your question is the Phoenix Suns are nearing a sign and trade deal right now for DeAndre Ayton. They said that the deal looked like it's going to be done in the next 12 hours. People are complaining in Phoenix because they're saying if you take him out of the middle, he did so much for Phoenix. You take him out the middle, they should probably be in a steep decline. But DeAndre Ayton over there might not be such a bad idea, literally, on Indiana Pacers. What's your thought process, T?
Well, of course it looks like that right now, but once you plug that hole up with a Kevin Durant, I think everybody will smile again. You know, people always when you get the bad news, you react to bad news until the good news comes along. Remember, that's one of the teams that is on his top wish list of 3. So it may most likely be they're doing that deal and getting that done, getting them out of there because they already know what's coming in. So I think quick as they upset, quick they're gonna be happy. No team is not going to be happy that Durant comes out. I don't care what we say. He wishy-washy. He got no loyalty. He bounce around. But I don't care what you say. An elite player is an elite player. You will chop it up all the way to the bank if you can get him. All the LeBron haters, let LeBron go to their team.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as they hate him, they're not going to say, no. They're going to be like, oh, we got LeBron?
Yeah. Fig, you're up. The question I got for you is: looks like that Indiana's still not done with that making moves. Indiana's in talks right now for Miles Turner to go to the Lakers too. So that's the hot topic right now. So when they make the DeAndre Ayton move, you know, then obviously Indiana, in order to afford DeAndre Ayton, Indiana got to upload a couple of people, and it'll probably be Miles Turner. So you like Miles Turner on the Lakers?
Oh yeah, well listen, the Lakers automatically get younger, they get more athletic, and Miles Turner, he also plays a decent brand of defense, and he could score. So you have a two-way player who's probably not going to cost you that much money, and your team automatically gets younger and healthier. Yeah, I think any addition of somebody with the caliber of Miles Turner would make the Lakers that much better.
All right. But Mike Sean, everybody seems to be forgetting this one key thing. This is well, it's not necessarily a Pelican brief. This is a fact. The fact is, in order for the Brooklyn Nets to make some moves to handle, either figure out what they're going to do with Kyrie or figure out what they're going to do with KD, and before they make any moves to be part of a third team trade, they got to figure out what they're going to do with Ben Simmons because he's making a lot of money too. So if Mike, the question to you is, if something happens, do you think literally Brooklyn should trade Ben Simmons right now to help them alleviate some of this cash flow problem, or should they build around him?
How are you going to trade somebody whose main focus is taking a nap? Like, it's like at a certain point, I don't know what Ben Simmons is going through. I know he had back surgery. I don't know what he's going through mentally and stuff like that. But what is his real, what are you trading? If I say, I'm going to give you Ben Simmons and you give me so-and-so, somebody's going to say, you're going to give me somebody who hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. So
I don't know. I hope Ben Simmons understands that this year he's going to have to actually show and prove and play.
Yeah. All right, Nick, you ready to start another round of rapid fire? T, you up first. I don't know if you guys ended up saying, we talked about Ja Morant a couple of times yesterday. We talked about him saying he would cook Michael Jordan and everything else. Came out last night that ESPN reported that he said Michael Jordan's just another superstar, but ESPN was wrong. He didn't say that. So ESPN had to apologize. So my question to you, T, is the media running too quick to try to create some drama with all these things with people saying versus X, Y, and Z? You know what I mean?
They always have. They always been like that. They always been like that. That's the media. Yep. The media game is who can say it first, who could break the story. And you know how many times the media has been busted as misquoting or, just putting something together and speculating. And then when they go to have to do the due diligence to prove it, they can't. Right. Many of sportscasters as well as regular newscasters have been suspended and fired and changed publications because of this. Of course, right now is that time. This is the worst time for things like the NBA because nobody's playing, right? The game's in hiatus until the next season. So in that clump of months, everybody's trying to figure out a way to keep 15 minutes of fame going. Why ain't no games going? It's easy when the games are going. You can pick anything out. Look at this guy in the stands. Ain't no guy in the stands. Right. So somebody got to come out with, so-and-so said this and all, just to start a little buzz. And especially right now, while we got all this, for lack of a better term, trade bait going on.
Right.
So right now is the perfect time to start a little, concern. What they're really trying to do is, you say anything about Michael Jordan, I'm really trying to bait Michael Jordan to answer that. Because nobody could get Michael Jordan interviews until Michael Jordan's ready. So how else do I get there? Ja Morant said, Michael Jordan, your mother ain't nothing.
Yeah, or clickbait. That's what people trying to do that for clickbait. Yeah, clickbait. Speaking of Michael Jordan, Big, check this out. 30 for 30 ESPN documentary people are sitting there trying to figure out a way if they could create a documentary about the thing that we talked about last week, literally Isaiah Thomas incident between Isaiah and Michael Jordan. They're trying to create a 30 for 30 documentary about when the rift started, which we discussed last week. We talked about the rift probably started when Isaiah ducked down after they lost. Isaiah came on social media yesterday and basically was saying that he thinks it's going to be a documentary. He's not going to reveal too much. When do you think the problems occurred? Because Isaiah said, you guys can say whatever you want. I beat everybody and won a chip. I beat Bird, I beat Jordan, I beat Magic and got my chip. What you think about this, Big?
Well, the thing is that it probably started, I had forgotten about the time when Michael Jordan made the All-Star game and they just kind of froze him out. Right. You know what I mean? Because he was getting a lot of press. He was getting a lot of attention and a lot of hoopla was around Michael Jordan. So when he finally made it to the NBA All-Star game, they decided they weren't going to give him the ball. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't going to overshadow me as long as I've been playing in the league. And then, the icing on the cake is, when I finally get over the hump and you walk away without congratulating me after beating me up and pushing me down and, tackling me pretty much and stuff like that. We finally get a crew and we beat y'all. And now y'all just walk off and, and like nothing. I mean, he had his fill of Isaiah Thomas and been like, you know what? We ain't friends. We ain't brothers. We ain't partners. And we ain't friends. I don't need you in my life.
Mike Sean, look like you want to jump in on this conversation. Go ahead.
Doug, Isaiah Thomas is one of the most underrated, and the Detroit Pistons are one of the most underrated teams ever. When Isaiah said Boston did the same thing to him, when Detroit walked off, Boston did the same thing. The only thing we remember is Kevin McHale stayed behind,
right, and
shook Isaiah Thomas's hand. Larry Bird walked off, and the rest of them dudes walked off. I'm not an Isaiah Thomas fan. I just respect the fact that the guy was 6 foot tall and balled out. But it's not fair that he gets pointed out. And remember, Michael Jordan's not the one who kept him off the Olympic team. It was Magic Johnson that kept him off the Olympic team. So I see why Isaiah Thomas has got a little fire behind his back going like, dog, you guys have been itching on me for a long time. And I don't think it's deserved. Boston was always dirtier. And I know, Frank, I hate to say this. Boston was the dirtiest team in the NBA.
Well, this
way
is what
before Detroit was.
This is what I tell you. I think Boston was one of the dirtiest teams in the NBA.
No, it was the dirtiest team.
Depends on how you look at it.
The dirtiest team.
Yeah, y'all was definitely the dirtiest team all the way up until the bad boys. Here's the thing, though. I don't see what the problem is. If I win, we how many times we say on the show how emotional this sport is? If I win and Fig team loses and he want to go to the locker room, I don't see the beef there.
Yeah.
I just see that he's upset he lost and he don't want to talk right now.
Can I address that?
Let Dave get his chance. Hold on, let Dave get his chance. Dave, you jump in. Tell me what you want to jump in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everybody done took an ass whipping. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody done got rocked in the jaw one night. Every last one of us has had sets that we thought was going to kill and it bombed. You know, and sometimes you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
When did we become such Carl Thomas, Ralph Tresvant, sensitivity, emotion-riddled individuals, whereas though this becomes a thing? It's like I feel like I'm watching a bunch of gossip shows as opposed to be actually talking about sports. Oh, well, Isaiah Thomas 30 years ago walked away and he dissed Jordan. He didn't want to talk, he just lost. Yeah. This is not a thing.
But
Frank,
hold on. Go ahead, Mike.
And real quick, Frank, Robert Parrish said Larry Bird said something so disrespectful to Dr. J that he said his quote was, I would have punched him in the face too.
Yep. He did.
But for some reason, Isaiah Thomas, the smallest guy on the court, gets criticized for doing what he did. But Larry Bird got away with a lot of ish that he said.
But that now you're talking to color barriers. We ain't gonna go to the color barrier. But Fake, let me ask you this: should there be literally a documentary about this, a 30 for 30 documentary about this? Are we really that hard up about something that happened literally, was it 30 years ago? Like, we really want to know? Are people gonna watch this?
Yeah, because it's Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas is polarizing. It's the same way that got great ratings when Magic sat down with Isaiah, when they sat across from each other and had their thing with the conversation and stuff like that. The thing is that it seemed, I think the reason why MJ took it personally, because it seemed like it was personal from the beginning. And we start from the All-Star game all the way up until they personally attacked him on the basketball court, because they knew if you cut the head off the snake, you can destroy them. Michael Jordan was the head of the snake. So the Detroit Pistons took personal attention and assault on Michael Jordan. And we know, look, if you go back and look at the games, I mean, I hated Michael Jordan. So I just want to preface my conversation by that. I hated him. As a Knicks fan, I hated Michael Jordan. I wanted the Knicks to do the same thing to Michael Jordan that the Detroit Pistons was. I would have loved that. I would have loved them doing that to him, to be able to beat him. But I understand you being personally insulted by the fact that y'all attacked me personally with there weren't basketball plays. They were just roughhouse plays. They weren't basketball. You attacked me. I finally beat you. I finally get over the hump, and you guys just walk off. I feel disrespected. Now, we're not talking about the NBA. We're talking about what Michael Jordan felt like. Right. That's the way he felt. And he didn't want anything to do with Isaiah after that. As a matter of fact, even in the interviews, he was like, look, I remember one interview in particular where he said, listen, please, no Isaiah Thomas questions. And he was like, no, we're not going to ask you anything by Isaiah Thomas. He said, okay, good.
See, look like you want to jump in on this. Go ahead. Because
it doesn't make sense, man. People have a right to feel the way they feel about the outcome of anything. And I'm appalled at any of us that think otherwise, because even in the comedy world, Big, you know better. You go up, the people go up and bomb, they leave that building immediately.
Immediately. Yeah, what you sticking around for?
Stay and talk to the crowd about this horrible ass set I just had. I'm going home. I'm going to another comedy club to try to have a better set. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to drown myself in drinks across town, anywhere but around you people that just bore witness to this ass whooping. The man got a right. Let me tell you something. Hats off to every guy that loses, whether it's boxing or anything, and come over to the competitor that won and go, hey, man, y'all did that. Good game. Hats off to that champion above and beyond. But I still got to respect the guy who does not feel that way, who's in his feelings, because, let me tell you something. Basketball, team sport. How many times we watch a player get upset, Pippen, because the call wasn't for him, and the other dude gets the call that's going to decide the game. God forbid he misses it. I'm in a different headspace because I lost to something I couldn't control. Give me the ball. Right. Let me lose by my own hands. Didn't happen. He took the shot. I lost. I'm in a different headspace than him. The guy who blew the game with that shot, cool coach, may come over and go, hey, man, good series. Pippen, who didn't get the call, is livid. Is livid. You know what I tell you? Yo, any chick that's ever been in a relationship, so this is the ultimate analogy. They get mad at me because if something happens that pisses me off or hurts my feelings or whatever, I shut down for a little while. I need to process. Mm-hmm. I don't go right in with that. And women get mad because, we need to communicate. Man, screw you. I need to calm down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I need to come from a better place and talk about this first.
I'm going to say, can I say one
just you're preaching talent. Go ahead, Fig.
The only thing I want to say is I understand that. I understand Isaiah or the Pistons being in the fields, whatever stuff like that. We're going to allow him that. But let me ask you this. Can't we allow Michael Jordan the same courtesy to feel?
Whoa.
No, because
wait, please let me get this one. Mike, please, I'm begging you, let me get this one. First of all, everybody from the time I was 12 years old, has catered to Michael Jordan, has walked on eggshells for Michael Jordan, has changed the league for Michael Jordan, has changed calls for Michael. Everything has always been about Michael Jordan's feelings. Everything. The only thing that comes close to it is the way that people cater and kowtow and step and fetch to LeBron. I'm sorry. I am neither a Michael Jordan fan, nor am I an Isaiah Thomas fan, but facts are facts. When have we not catered to Michael Jordan's feelings?
Mike, you got it.
just saying, why can't he feel
Hold
disrespected?
on,
But I want to say this. I want to say this why I'm not an Isaiah, like Taz just said, I'm not an Isaiah Thomas fan. I respect him. All Isaiah did is say about Larry Bird what we all said at the barbershop. If he was black, he'd just be another player.
Yep.
He wasn't even the first person to say it. He
At all.
co-signed Dennis Rodman, and they destroyed him, and CBS made him apologize in front of the country. Isaiah Thomas has a lot to be mad about, y'all.
Yes.
A lot.
Fig, you wanted to say something before we go to the next round?
The only thing I'm saying is that, look, everybody has their own personal reasons for feeling the way that they want to feel. Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. I mean, even Charles Barkley. You know what I mean? Guys have a right to feel the way they want to feel. Now, fans are going to take sides. It depends on whatever side of the fence you're on. Fans are going to take sides. If somebody slight me and I feel disrespected by it and I don't want anything to do with that person, I'm entitled to that, no matter whether you like me or not.
But Boston did exactly what Detroit did the year before.
Yeah.
They did exactly the same thing. Doesn't matter. They didn't do it to Michael Jordan.
No, but who cares?
Right,
They did it to Detroit.
Obviously, he did.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's get ready to move on. Mike, since you up right now, I got you on fake right now. I'm gonna throw the first question to you for the next round. Where am I at? All right, Zach Wilson is mixed up in a whole lot of allegations because it came out that his ex-girlfriend put up some information saying that he dated his mother's friend. And people are furious about this, and obviously, and I'm like, I don't even know why people care. But a lot of people in the New York area seem to be upset about Zach Wilson and this situation that he's doing personally. Do you think the NFL should step in on this stuff that's happening with Zach Wilson in the New York?
Don't ask me that question unless you show me Zach Wilson, the mom's friend.
Why?
If you're a kid, it's not Zach Wilson's fault. It's the people that were older. It's their fault. So please don't get upset because he might have dated his mom's friend. Listen, there's some mom's friends that need to be dated. And you're going to the next square.
No, actually, we get that question to Talent because Talent is king of that part.
Oh, my God.
You said some dude's moms need to be dated. Yo.
See, you agree with that part?
Yeah, he put a hit out on dude's mom. Yo, Mike is that dude in the locker room. Yo, you seen Zach Levine moms?
Call me Delonte West.
I was getting ready to say that. You know, Puerto Rican Delonte West.
Every time Mike passes, hey, Miss Levine. Yeah, no, but he got a point. It's like that's something that people don't think about. As funny as it is, it's true. The adult, you know what I mean? You can't go after the kid, the young dude who's smashing the dude's mom. Like, she's an adult. She's older than him. She lived longer than him, so she's the decision maker. Ain't no young dude just busting up in pause. Just busting up in a room, like making it happen with somebody's mother. That's a decision mom made. Yeah. Mom wanted the brakes knocked off, and she picked this little handsome whippersnapper.
The whippersnapper.
To be the one. Let's make her whippersnapper.
Yeah, Fig, should the New York Jets step in, though? That's the question. What should the New York Jets do?
And do what? How old was what did he do? I mean, listen, here's the only way this becomes a problem is if he was underage, if he was like 12, 13, 14, something like that, if he was underage and this woman was, assaulting, basically sexually assaulting a minor. That's the only way it becomes a problem. I don't even understand why it's the problem of the guy. You see how men get treated? If the guy is assaulted, it's his fault. We got an older woman on a younger man, and it's his fault. Like, how could that be? Some of these women have babies at a very early age. Put it to you this way. She's 30, say she had a baby at 14. She's 34 years old. Now this kid is 20. 20 and 34 ain't bad. It just ain't.
Especially if he had a good set.
Prime of her life. He's in the prime of his life. They both attracted to each other. This is two consenting adults. The only way it becomes a problem is if he's a minor. And
First
then,
of all,
even if so, why is it his fault?
I'm a Jet fan. If they didn't say nothing to Rex Ryan about having a tattoo of Mark Sanchez, you leave us alone.
Dave,
Yes,
should
sir.
the Jets step in? Should the Jets step in and do something about this? Should they say something? Should they, anything happen? But what's your thought process in this?
No. What does it say? Let me tell you something. I'm a young man. I'm arguably the youngest man here, and I grew up in comedy clubs. You take from that what you will, Frank.
I will do that. I can only imagine. So we won't go there.
Hey,
All
Frank,
right,
if you dumb enough to bring your mom close to the locker room,
Don't leave your mom around me.
That's your fault, including LeBron. My mom will never meet any one of these comedians ever in life. Y'all.
Hey, Frank, personal story. I was 17 years old. I had a woman that was 28 who felt that I was attractive enough to get her attention.
Barbara Kelly.
That's all I'm saying.
Barbara Kelly?
Barbara Kelly. Let me tell you something. Why is this a feel-good story for us? I want to know. As Frank is asking the question, everybody starts with a smile. Everybody's like this. To the Jets of it? Nah, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Go ahead, young player.
All right, y'all ready for the next round? Y'all are cracking me up. See, you ready for the next round? You ready for the next round? Since I got you up, you ready for the next round? All right, next round questions, man. NBA All-Star Game, they're talking about right now trying to change it up again. They're trying to figure out what they can do with the slam dunk competition and possibly go back to the East versus West. What are your thought process right now? Or should the NBA keep the All-Star Game the way it is, and or should changes be made to the slam dunk competition? What would you do, T?
I like to take this moment to say how much I really am entertained by white people. We're trying to fix the dunk contest again. Practice. How about like the old days? You entered the dunk contest the months leading up in your off time. You practicing the dunks you're gonna do, so you got it all laid out. These young dudes are just coming to All-Star Weekend and making it up on the spot. That's what the dragging is. That's what these horrible dunks are. That's what these, I don't know about y'all, if y'all seen it this last one, 100 tries.
It was terrible.
It was so many tries to get simple dunks done because they're young and they don't practice on it. One thing about, you go back to Dominique, when Dominique was reigning champ of that, right? Coming behind Julius, and then Dominique took that thing over for a while. Everybody that came after Dominique that joined that sucker was practicing some dunks, including the little dudes. Spud Webb said, I'm gonna jump over this dude. So all the little dudes, they had to do extra stuff, jump over the people and all that. But at least they practiced. So when they got to it, and you don't put me in the Beacon Theater and I do 40 minutes of all new, unproven material.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm going with what works.
Yeah.
It's a sold-out Beacon Theater, Carnegie Hall. This is the big time. So I got 40 minutes of what works. I'm gonna kill them tonight. I'm not going out there with the paper, Frank. That's not the night to do this. Hey, what's up, Carnegie Hall?
Man, they got a paper though.
Roe v. Wade, huh? It's not the time. And I'm tired of them disrespecting the craft like that. They had no creativity. They did too many tries, took the umph out of the audience and everything, even if you're home watching on the television. And then more importantly than all of that, these dudes were showboating. It had nothing to do with the dunk. I love Greg Anthony and Jr., But that whole Timberland thing,
Yeah, that was
20 minutes and it had nothing to do with the dunk.
that was horrible. Mike Sean, what would you do with the dunk contest, and what change would you make with the All-Star game? What would you do?
First of all, I start with what Taylor said. Shout to white people. White people don't understand that you want black people to jump over cars to dunk. No, a 3-point competition is amazing because a 3-pointer, all he has to do is shoot a 3-pointer.
Right.
You want a dude, Julius Erving jump from the free throw line. Everybody can shoot from the jump from the 3-point line. I mean the free throw line. Like, I don't know what you guys really want these guys to do. Like, do you want somebody with a 52 vertical inch leap to jump like from the 3-point line or the half? Like, dunking has become limited. They've done everything they can do, dog. They're jumping over mascots, putting the ball behind their back.
What change would you make, though? If you had to make a change,
here's the change I would make. Whoever wins the dunk contest becomes an unrestricted free agent that day.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
You want guys to really practice dunking? Let them be an unrestricted free agent immediately after they win. And Nate Robinson would have probably made $20 million the next year.
Probably.
You know, that's very interesting what he's saying, because anything you want progress from, you add incentive. That's incentive.
Yeah, it's incentive. Fig, what would you do, and what do you think they should do with the All-Star Weekend?
Well, first off, I think it was exciting before because the stars participated.
That's
like,
the
anticipation to see Michael Jordan and Dominique and all these guys go up against each other was absolutely amazing. I don't think the dunk contest would have lost anything had LeBron James ever participated. Like, who wouldn't have wanted to see LeBron James in the dunk contest? I think the whole world would have tuned in to see that. I thought it would have been amazing. But something that I saw that had nothing to do with the NBA, I think Kenny the Jet Smith, maybe Charles Barkley and them put on this dunk contest with guys who were not NBA players. And I think the dunk contest was amazing. I've seen some dunks on YouTube far better than what I've seen from NBA players. These guys in the NBA, they're not practicing dunks. They're practicing how to get their game together and solid so they could be in the NBA. Guys who are practicing dunks are literally just doing dunks. So I think what we need to do is open up the dunk contest to guys who are outside of the NBA. And then if you want to make it a real incentive, give them a certain amount of money, and then let the guys, the top 2 or 3 dunkers in the NBA, that are outside of NBA, give them a shot to compete for to try out for a team. You know what I mean? And that, I think that alone would make it exciting, not only for the guys coming out, but it would make it exciting for the fans to see, like, oh wow, this guy made a great dunk, and he might end up playing in the NBA, almost like how Rayford Austin skipped to my Lou. Because he could do tricks and stuff with the ball. He actually played in the NBA. Give these guys a shot, because you know that's what they want.
Yeah,
I agree with Fig. We should shoot it from a prison.
Yeah.
Every year, a different prison facility.
Before I throw it to you and you give me your business acumen,
we should have somebody do a 360 dunk and shoot a gun at the same time.
Oh shit!
What I would do is I would open it up to the top high school prospects coming into college. You know what I mean? Open it up to them. That way we get some hype built up on these guys and some names, because nobody knows who these guys are in the NBA, competing in the NBA slam dunk competition. Maybe that might do it. Let me ask you this, Dave. Yeah. What would you do to make the changes to the NBA All-Star game? And what would you do to the slam dunk competition?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, the All-Star game is boring. I hate to say it, but it sucks. It sucks donkey crotch, Frank. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Secondly, what I would do is I would have the sponsors get more involved. For example, if there was a $5 to $10 million annual sneaker contract for the person who wins the dunk contest that doesn't already have a sneaker contract, then you're going to be incentivized. The other thing is we got to talk about the fact that we have way too many thoughts corrupting the All-Star game. There needs to be some type of thought monitoring system because these guys' legs are getting weak. Their focus is off because they're shooting before the shots, if you understand what I'm saying to you. So if we regulate the thought activity prior to the slam dunk contest, Frank, I think we're going to see a more involved and more high stakes dunk contest.
All right, and lastly, my last question I'm going to ask you guys, and I'm going to start with you, Talent Man, is do you think that they should be giving away awards at the Summer League? Because they said this year they're going to start giving away awards for the Summer League winners who are participating in, obviously, the NBA teams participating in the Summer League. They're starting to give awards for that. I was like, this is ridiculous.
See, white people, again, very entertaining. Very entertaining. All the time you got to fix things, you want to give away awards at the Summer League. You know, they already been giving out awards at the Summer League. You know what the award is? You get to stay on the team.
Yeah.
That's the award. Now I'm going to give awards on top of that. Like, incentive is everything, but godly, you don't want to do that. I think that's premature at its best. I think these guys are busting their ass playing hard to make these rosters and play in the NBA for real. And I think that's your reward right there. You know what I mean? You're putting too much energy in the wrong places to me. You know what I mean? They just, I don't know what it is that we can't get. I don't care what we call it, the whole CBA thing. We just can't get that whole thing right since the CBA inception. We keep changing the initials and calling the Summer League and the D League and the G League and all, and we just can't get it right. These boys should be balling out. The scouts should be doing their job. The organization should be doing their job, watching who's what, who got where, who helps the team, and they make the team. Simple.
Like Sean, they're giving away rings, large trophies, more money, everything. Do you agree with what's happening with the Summer League starting this year that NBA is doing? What's your thoughts?
No, they should give out sunscreen. That's it. No, I swear.
Copper
I
Tone
never got
Summer
an
League.
award for killing an open mic. I never got an award for killing an open mic, yo.
Again, shoot it in the prison.
Yeah, shoot in the prison.
Yo, shoot it. Let first prize be freedom or early parole.
Yeah.
I think
Listen.
what they're doing is that TV decided that they need the Summer League the G League, we should say, to actually get ratings. So now there's the MVP of the G League and the MVP. I get all that. But listen, everybody on this panel is older. So we're not going to ever fall for you getting the MVP of the G League. We're never going to be like, yo, you got the MVP. We're never going to fall for it because we know chances are you're not even playing in a playoff game on an NBA team. Whether that's right or wrong, we're never going to fall for it.
All right, yeah, we grown ass men. I'm telling you right now, shoot it from the prison, Frank.
Yeah, that's like a chick talking about how educated she is. I got my associates. I went to ICDC college. Like,
wait, Taz. If I got my associates, I would have been impressed.
Yeah.
I would have been impressed if I got my associates.
You want to add on to this before you roll up out of here? You got the last
Yeah,
word.
man. The last thing I want to add is that, you know, what it screams of is the participation trophy that they give to everyone that plays, whether you win or lose. Like the little kids that play. Oh, you don't want to hurt their feelings, so give everybody a trophy. And speaking of trophy, I happen to have an exact replica of the WNBA MVP trophy right here. This is it. This is the
oh my God.
this is the exact size, and I believe it cost $18 for the MVP trophy of the WNBA All-Star Game. And this is it right here.
So
Hey, you want to solve all these problems, Frank? You shoot it from the prisons. You take a page out of the longest yard. You get the dope ball players in the prison, like Sing Sing, and they get a chance to whoop on them correction officers and dunk champions and all that, bro. And it costs you nothing.
Oh my
Big,
God.
everybody out there,
Listen, they'll do it for $3.
Now you can follow me on social media platforms at Comedian Fig, and this is Box Seats, the best damn sports show on TV.
Michael Sean. Tell everybody how they can follow you, bro.
Follow me at Mike Show Comedy. And I just want to know, was Kamala Harris a bit too busy to get Brittany Griner out of Russia? I'm wondering, like, was she busy? Like, could she not go over there and try to do litigation? Sorry,
Yes,
everybody have a good day.
She was busy. We didn't mention Condoleezza Rice became an owner of the Denver Broncos. We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, she ain't going to get Brittany Griner free either. She was busy too.
Condi was trying to close a deal.
Dave,
I'll tell you one thing before we go. I go to MVP and the championship trophies at the prison.
Scissor Edison.
This is the MVP. And this is the champion.
What's the name of the prison? Shawshank?
Dave, tell everybody how they can follow you.
You can follow me on all social media platforms at The Business Bully, and I am going to Rikers right now to start recruiting this all-star thug basketball team.
Hold up the MVP trophy one more time.
Which one, though? The championship or the MVP?
Both.
Most valuable player? Right here. But the championship.
They said the point guard who won the MVP was cutting up.
See, everybody out there they can follow you.
Talented comedian on Instagram. Holla at your boy.
All right, y'all. That's the show. The show's called Box Seat. As you know, these guys are funny. We will be back tomorrow. Repeat broadcast. Actually, we'll be back tomorrow with another live broadcast. We repeat the show on Humor Mill at 3 o'clock on the Humor Mill channel. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all tomorrow. That's Talent. That's The Business Bully. That's Fig. That's Michael Sean. I'm Frank. We will talk about a couple other stories tomorrow and dive right back into it. We'll see y'all. He held up a knife.